Welcome back to Wall Street Today. I'm your host, Bob Guinea, and I'm joined by Frank Astorino. Frank, I have loved getting to know you over the last couple of days and getting to talk to you. I mean, your story is fascinating. What you've been able to do with the Astorino Financial Group, your approach to business. And just the fact that you're such a kind and nice person. I got to tell
Thank
you,
you, Bob.
I get to meet a lot of people, but I don't get to meet so many people that I think are just blow me away with their personalities. And you definitely have that. The whole crew thinks that, by the way.
Wow,
Everyone's
Bob.
talked about you.
Thank
So
you for that.
let's just get that pleasantry out of the way right away. But
Thank you for
why don't
that.
you tell our viewers exactly what you do and how you approach your business that makes you unique?
Sure. Well, I love helping people. That's the starting point.
Yeah.
I've met all types of people. They all have their own story. So it's not just about numbers. It's about them and the human element. Um, so what we do is we start with a discovery process, and I get to know their values. I get to know their relationships, their accomplishments, and their goals. And from there, we determine if there's a need to go forward. And then from there, through the discovery process, I I try to identify a stress test, and that enables me to find out what's not perfect in their life or what they might want to do better and help pull that out of them.
Yeah. So it's not just a financial stress test,
No,
right? It's actually a
correct.
stress test universally for their lives.
Correct.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's a very unique approach for someone in the financial services, you know?
Well, the basic stuff of when do you want to retire and stuff doesn't work anymore. Life is continuous, and you want to really put their money where their life is.
Oh, I love that. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's what I believe in. And how do you follow joy? And some people have a lot of money and aren't fulfilled.
Yeah,
Others don't have enough money and they're anxious. But
sure.
I find the right roadmap.
No, I love that. What's been one of the more common misconceptions you've seen as people approach you for your services, where you can kind of dispel that and say, here's what we're going to do different?
It might sound a little primitive, but in the back of people's brain, I think they call it the Abdullah oblongata part of the brain. It's the fight or flight part of you, and it comes down to fear or flight. And in a more elegant way, I would say it has to do with creating prosperity and protection at the same time.
Okay.
The natural inclination for people is they think I'm going to just make them money,
Right.
and I'm not going to lose them money.
Right.
So what you learn through some of their behaviors and biases through getting to know them is what could go wrong,
Right.
and how do I take my toolbox, which is a massive array of different concepts and facts and figures and stuff, but I try to bridge that with what intrinsically drives them
Yeah.
and where their biases are.
Right.
Some people have biases like it's a fear of missing out.
Yeah. I think
Or
that's one of mine.
everybody has
I've got the
that.
FOMO.
No, that's why they hesitate making decisions.
Yeah.
And some have an overconfidence bias, and then that becomes difficult because, oh, I look how much money I made on Nvidia or whatever
Right.
company that is their favorite, and they think it's never going to go down.
Yeah.
And that leads to what I call confirmation biases or recency biases. And once you help them frame who they are and bring it back to their values and what their real goals are. An example would be a doctor who has half of his portfolio in one single stock.
Right.
And while I commend him for the accomplishment and the wealth that he created with that stock, you did tell me you want to provide for your family. You did tell me that you had a certain number that you wanted to have. Are you prepared if that goes down 72%, like it did in the tech bust,
Right.
or the real estate bust, or any of those?
So they got all their eggs in
episodes.
that one basket,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. No, I could see that, certainly. You know, it's interesting. When you were talking, I was thinking about the fact that so many people think they can have a day trading account and that they know what they're talking about or what they're doing. I'm always of the mindset of, I'm really good at a couple things, and that's not one of them, right? Like I've never been that guy.
Right.
I've never been the guy that thinks, oh, I hit it once, I'm going to hit it again. Do you find that to be something you have to deal with a lot?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and I have to think three-dimensionally, because when someone starts talking to me, usually people who want to manage their own money, the driver of that is they think cost.
Right.
And cost in the absence of value does make a difference. So if I'm looking at something multidimensionally, I'm looking at okay, you said you wanted to retire. You had to put these kids through college.
Yeah.
You don't like paying taxes. You have a legacy that you wanted to pass a business on to or something, but you want that 50% of your money in stock.
Right.
And it's
You
like,
can't have it all.
no,
You
you
got to
can't.
figure out.
No,
Yeah.
so you have to kind of find that roadmap for them that's going to validate who they are and their accomplishments, but not get derailed by, do you have a B plan?
Yeah, yeah. No, I can guess because that would be the biggest stressor for me if I were in your industry and I felt like, boy, everyone thinks they're an expert, and here I am, someone who's committed my life to it as you have. I mean, you've been in this business 40 some years. I mean,
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that because some people think it's a lot easier,
no.
than it really is.
Yeah.
They think that, well, everybody knows technology's going up, it's
Yeah.
like, really?
Is that
Okay.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? What is a story you could share with our viewers that was show, just of someone perhaps recently that you've worked with that you were able to kind of turn around that mindset?
Well, recently, and I'll preface it this way, is while a lot of stories don't always have happy parts to it or happy endings, I want to focus on competency. Um, so I had a client that was with me for the better part of 3+ decades, and I played golf with her husband. Her story is kind of a sad one, but it relates to what you're talking about. This is a person that could pick good stocks. And,
Right. Right.
so she had a difficult childhood. Her family were kicked out of their apartment, so the need for money was kind of embedded in her.
Sure.
She rose, even without a full education, to the top two positions of a Fortune 100 advertising company.
Wow.
Very tough woman. And through the years, I've had to deal with her estate, I've had to deal with her income tax, and I've always had to get the right relationship. So part of what we do is not only having a good toolbox, it's having a good network
Yeah.
and know who to refer to.
Right. That phone tree is important, right? Who you
It
call.
really is. Yeah, there's nothing that can't be solved with more than 3 phone calls away. So I tell my apprentices that.
That's wonderful.
So through her life story, she lost her son early. She lost her husband about 8 years ago. Then she lost her daughter to a drug addiction to opioids from pain management. And I was just getting her prepared for the next chapter with her mom. And she was the power of attorney. She was the medical proxy for her mom. And that all came to a halt.
Right.
So I ended up hiring a CPA, an attorney, a psychiatrist to make sure that she was lucid,
Yeah.
because it really disrupted and unraveled her whole estate plan because everything was going to her daughter.
Sure.
So unfortunately, she just passed recently, the day after her dog died.
Oh.
That's all she had left. And I mention it because here's a person that had multi-millions of dollars saved. There was nobody there for her. I used to visit her. Out of guilt, I used to feel guilty. I didn't see my mom as much as I saw her because my mom lives in Florida. But I would go once a month. I'd
Yeah.
bring her food and, talk to her about anything that would bring a smile to her face.
Sure.
So that's the part of me that makes me feel good about what I do.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can imagine. I mean, you're such a kind soul. I mean, I was watching you last night. Everyone you see, they're walking over and talking to you, and you just have that kind of spirit about you, which I think is just, it's different. And I think, in your industry especially, you can be thought of as someone who's a number cruncher or someone who, is only focused on this. And it's so clear that that's not even remotely who you are and what you bring to the table. And I love that you shared that, because I think people who are looking for someone in your industry with your expertise and with your level of experience to know you have a heart of gold is kind of a nice compliment to that.
Well, I like to create impact. I think that's one of my drivers, is not only solving problems for people and simplifying it for them so that they can grasp it and apply it, but it's really, how do I find joy for them?
Yeah.
And that gives me more satisfaction than money.
Sure.
Even though money is nice to have and affords me to do things,
Right.
but it's really, where's the joy?
Would you say that's your mission when you're dealing with people?
Yeah.
Like, let's find some joy.
Yeah.
Not just find a puffy bank account, but let's
No,
find some joy.
no, because the money, you can't take it with you,
Right.
right? Uh, Sometimes when there's people that want to bend the rules a little bit, they do some things that are shady. I said, you may not get caught while you're alive,
Right.
but when you're dead, you can't go to jail, but your family has to pay the price of it.
So true. So you're actually giving them a burden when you thought you were making them a bunch of dough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I love your story. I love you as a person and the person
Thank
I've
you,
gotten to
Bob.
know.
Thank
I
you, Bob.
love that you're here with us with our show, Wall Street Today. How would our viewers get a chance to get in touch with you and to utilize your services, get a consultation? How would they find you?
So historically, it's word of mouth, but you know, we do have a website, AstorinoFinancialGroup.com, and you can call our office and ask for Karen.
Yeah. The easiest way to do it.
That's right.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for giving your time today. Thanks for being on Wall Street Today with us, and thank you for being the person that you are. I've appreciated getting to know you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the energy.
Oh, you got it.
All the
You
good
got
times.
it. Continued success, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here on Wall Street Today. We'll be back with more.